Hello everybody, hope you're all well and welcome to this P3D full flight video. Today we are doing a nice easyJet domestic hop from Glasgow to Bristol. So yeah, you join me down here at gate 4 and yeah, this is my first full flight video on the channel because I prefer making these types of videos to the ones I was doing previously, the more cinematic ones, and I've always wanted to do these videos anyway. So, the plan for today is to taxi, obviously start up the plane first, and to taxi over to runway 23, which is over there, take off to the west. We're going to fly down south, pretty much straight away, all the way down to Bristol. It's a nice easy route. We're going to be arriving via the Bristol 1 Alpha as it stands into runway 27 at Bristol Airport. So without further ado, let's get into the flight deck to get set up. Okay, so we are now in the flight deck, and the first thing to do is going to be turning on the master battery switches, which are right here. The external power is available, and we will turn that on, and the navigation lights can come on. Primary flight display and ND can come on while they perform their self-tests. And we can get on the eCam displays as we're doing here. So yeah, nice shortish flight, 58 minutes in the air we plan to spend. And yeah, so I'm gonna do a full setup today and show you the ins and outs of the Aerosoft Airbus, which is probably not most common to the general flight simmer's eye, as a lot of the mainstream flight sim content creators use FS Labs. But I use Aerosoft. I may get the FS Labs in the future, especially with the Sharklets coming out hopefully this year. Fingers crossed. Yeah, there's a lot of BAs, it seems. Going down to Heathrow and maybe Gatwick. Very nice. Okay, so we don't need integrated rear lights. It's a little bit dark. We can put on turn up the brightness of the QNH panels and the altitude headings panels here. We can start entering the data into the MCDU. So this number of passengers we're going to be taking down there is 174. And we are taking 5.6 tons of fuel. And we're planning to have a zero fuel weight of 61.9 Earth. So I need exactly one more ton of fuel. And there we go, and we'll start loading the fuel here. And we will get the catering service underway. It's the first flight of the day. So we're gonna cater, we'll get easyJet white logo because that gives us the nice orange coloured catering and, well, not catering, but cargo loaders, pushback trucks, stairs, always nice. We've got Alpha catering services here. So yeah, that's MCDU data set up, and I'm just gonna do some cockpit preparation. Engine masters are off, engine mode select is normal, landing gear lever is down, parking brake can be set because we need it for GSX. The flaps are up, speed brake is retracted, thrust levers are at idle, transponder mode is currently standby on both dials. We can turn on the radio control panels and we can, for good practice, dial in Unicom. We're not on VATSIM today. I don't currently use VATSIM, but it's just always good practice in my opinion. I can hear an aircraft departing. off to Heathrow, or maybe Gatwick. I'm not too sure. Depends on the reg. The flight directors and anti-skid switches should be on. We can set the baro. It's very low today. We've got some very low air pressure, hence the rain. And we need to arm the emergency lights in case of an emergency. No smoking signs or no port turbo elec signs come on because the no smoking signs definitely they're an automatic thing basically, so we don't have a switch to do that in this newer version of the Aerosoft Airbus. Wing and engine anti-ice is off. The packs are on, the bleeds are on, apart from the APU, that's fine. The hot air is on. We can't do anything about that. Blower extract fans are fine. Engine gens are both on. The APU gen is on. And we can turn on all the fuel pumps, like so. GPWS, everything is on. Flight controls on. We can set the ADIRS's nav. And we can do the fire tests. Like so. And yeah, comm radios, we have set them. So we have to turn on the electric pump as well. I forgot about that, sorry. Just make sure that's fine, which it is. We can come down to the MCDU, load in the latest nav data, and onto the init page. I've got a company route set up for this flight, so it is Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot, Echo Golf Golf Delta 01. So that's Glasgow here for any of you who are wondering, the ICAO code. Bristol's code here, and 01 is just the format that the SimBrief downloader exports the Aerosoft Airbus flight plans for me. We're easy 76 Zulu Romeo today. Cost index 12. And cruising at flight level 330 today. That's 33,000 feet. With a temperature of minus 51 degrees. Confirm we're aligning the IRSs and we can load in the winds for various phases of flight. And we can, well, the flight plan's already loaded, we can cross-check it, make sure everything's fine. We're departing runway 23 and let's say 1 alpha, elusive 1 alpha departure is set. Everything is fine there. The last waypoint on our route before the Bristol 1 alpha arrival should be Retzi. That sounds like a turboprop taking off in the sim. We've got Retzi, Amaral Riles. We've got up to the Bristol BRI waypoint, but the arrival isn't fully programmed in. We'll do that when we get closer down there. So catering services have been completed. That's very good. We can start to request boarding because we want to set off as soon as possible. We are a low-cost carrier, obviously, so we want to spend minimum time on the ground as possible. So I will make sure the block fuel is entered in the second init page. Can insert the number of passengers there. Block fuel should be 5.6 and the zero fuel weight and center of grav is as follows. I'm going to use my external A320 takeoff calculator, which is WAB Pro. So an easy free tool to use. So A320 CFM engines metric units because we're in Europe. Echo Golf Papa Foxtrot, we can get the METAR up. Confirm all of the weather data. We're going to be doing a 1+F flaps departure. easyJet takeoff with easyJet do not have flaps for packs on for takeoff, but we're going to do it just for the sake of simplicity. Got a wet runway at the moment. Our center of gravity CG is 26.0. Our takeoff weight is 67.4 tons. Take off runway 23 using the whole runway. Well, we're going to aim to do that. It's a wet runway. We've got the data for our takeoff, so using flaps 1 slash oh my bad, zero fuel weight. I have not typed in the CG properly. Yeah, so we should have the pitch trim should be 0.5 degrees up. Flex temperature has filled in perfectly for us at 51 degrees. But we've got a V1 of 136 knots. The rotate of 146 knots. Add a V2 of 147 knots. Transition altitude is correct. So, can get off the takeoff calculator. And yeah, we're in a good place. We're loading on our passengers. The bus should be here. Gonna open the doors. Board on the peeps. Gonna check it's actually working. Okay, so we can. Yeah, the aircraft says we're boarding. We can also open back cargo door, aft cargo. Aerosoft does things automatically now, a bit like the FS Labs, so they have improved the door logic. We can check that the landing system is off, which is. The EFIS controls are arc mode with a range of 10 nautical miles. VOR ADF, we've got our VORs on. The FCU altitude, we're not on VATSIM, we'll just set it straight up to cruise and follow any constraints as need be as reported by the MCDU. As you can see, 6,000 feet is our first constraint. Flight control unit, everything is dashed and has got the circle next to it. That means everything is good and set into managed mode, which basically means the aircraft flies itself, as long as we've got the data in, which is. Check the ECAM status, which is normal. IRS alignment is checked. The ND, they're not quite aligned. They'll be aligned in 2 minutes. They are all set there. And we can set the MCDU to the flight plan page. We can set this to the takeoff page here on this right hand side for a reference. Okay, so the passengers are on. They're going to need the aircraft to be a bit warmer than it is, so we will turn on the APU. We can see the master flap opening in the back. It's quite cool. See the flap opening up. Oh, you can see the flap opening up. The flap should be open. Get off this page. The flap's open. Start up the APU. Wait for it to fire up, basically. Got a Saab 2000 behind us. Logan Air. Most likely come from down south. Could have come from further up north in Scotland, maybe Shetland Isles, maybe from somewhere down south in England. So anyway, we're just waiting for the APU to start up. And yes, it's now available, as you can see there. And we can put the APU bleed on, and that, as you can see on the condition screens, yeah, it's quite cool. It's only 13 degrees in the whole aircraft basically, so we can see the numbers going up. We've got hot air coming from the APU to heat up the cabin, as you can see. 14 degrees now. The passengers are boarding. Thrust levers are idle. The parking brake is on. Barometric reference is set. We can have the seatbelt signs on. We can turn off external power, and these flashes are meant to happen. They do happen in the real aircraft. We just need to wait for boarding to finish. So I will be back with you guys when boarding has finished. Okay, so hello again everyone. We are back in flight deck and everyone has boarded the aircraft, so we can now remove the traffic cones. We can remove the wheel chocks, we can remove the external power GPU basically. Okay, so the beacon light can come on as we are starting the engines now, and we will request pushback and departure from GSX. After we've closed the doors, that's my bad. Close the front, back. Cargo doors shutting. Every door is shut. There's a Twin Otter that's just arrived. That's the turboprop action you can hear. Now we will be pushing back to the left because... yeah, we're going to be pushing back here. Taxiing out. Just make sure 23 is still the active runway. It's updated 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
We know the runway. It's 23. Everything's great. We'll be taxiing over there, and yeah, let's push back.
Locking gear.
None of these turboprops
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Release parking brakes.
Commencing push.
Start.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Aerosoft Airbus Essentials is very loud. The engine is started, the EGTs are fine, the engine 2 is fine, the fuel flow is fine, N1 is fine. Everything is okay. We can start engine 1. M2 is going up slowly. That hits about 20-25%. You see the EGT's fuel flow and N1 starting to come alive a bit more.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Yep, everything's rising now nicely. Now engine's available, which it is now. You can set the engine mode selector to normal again. You can turn APU bleed air off. You can turn the APU off. You can arm the spoilers. You can make sure rudder is 0. Pitch trim, we will set that to 0.5 degrees up to here. Perform a flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder full left, rudder full right, neutral. Okay. Flaps set 1. As you can see. Engine anti-ice, wing anti-ice, we won't be using that. Outside air temperature is 12 degrees centigrade or Celsius. And so it's not required. The ECAM status is normal. And the doors are all closed and the slides are armed. Brilliant. Brilliant! Okay, so we can turn on the nose light. We're going to be going after that Embraer. I will acknowledge a good engine start. I should have done that a bit earlier. Turn on the taxi light. Turn on the nose light to taxi. We'll just wait for GSX to leave the aircraft. And we will get on our merry way down to Bristol. So yeah. I also realised I hadn't set my desktop audio.
Left is clear, right is clear.
My primary desktop audio before the passengers were all boarded, so you might have not heard as much immersive exterior sound as you would have liked to, but I apologise for that. Not sure if that's a big issue for any of you. There wasn't much sound to miss anyway. So we'll finally release the parking brake and go to the runway. Turn the landing lights on, the nose light to take off. Runway turn off light and strobe lights can come on. I'll try and line up
on
well.
runway 23.
That's a pretty good lineup actually, I'm not normally that good at them. Okay, so we're ready to take off. So yeah, let's go for it. Let's head off. So put N1 to 40%, make sure it's stabilized. Put the point the nose into the ground because the Airbus is a nose light aircraft. Man flags 51, SRS runway, auto thrust blue. When we get to 100 knots, we'll release the pressure on the stick. As per our procedures. There's pressure there. P1 is coming up. The rotates coming up. The blue dot we can see there. Rotate. Let's gently lever the aircraft in the air, let it float up. Turn on the chrono, that's my bad. And gear can come up. And disarm the ground spoilers. Now we're not on the ground. Successful takeoff. I'm happy with that. I'll just hand fly the aircraft for a bit. Get the flaps up. Not quite early. Put the flaps back down, that's my bad, that's very bad for me. Thrust, climb, the flaps can now come up. I've not flown this aircraft for a little while. If the autopilot can come on. We're way more than 1,000 feet of ground level on the radio altitude here. Climbing quite steeply as this aircraft likes to do normally. That is epic. Okay, we can turn off the nose light. and the runway turn-off light. Packs are on. We don't need any anti-ice. You can see the volumetric clouds effects. And we have an altitude constraint of 6,000 feet. No increase in average. Got some constraints coming up. Elusive is, yeah, we're not allowed to climb above 6,000 feet past Elusive, but we are not online, we're not on VATSIM, so I am just going to pull this switch out, do an open climb all the way up to cruise. We'll see when we've been cleared. I'll put this to night mode, because I just think it's a lot nicer in the eyes, personally. We're above transition altitude of 600 feet, so we'll put the barrel to the standard setting. This aircraft climbs like a rocket, by the way. Look at that view. Sensational. P3D can look really nice when it wants to, and this is definitely one of those days. That is nice. That's incredible. Above 10,000 feet, landing lights come off. Seatbelt signs can go to auto. No portable electric device. Switches can, and seatbelts can go to auto. We can release the passengers. Got a little bit of weather. Only green. It shouldn't be too bad. Might get a little bit of turbulence. But we'll at least release the cabin for a little while yet. So yeah, I will see you when we're ready to descend. Enjoy the cinematics, and I will see you in a bit. sooner have we reached top of climb. And we're now ready to prepare for our descent, because top of descent is coming in, well, just under 10 minutes. 7 minutes, so we will check the runway information at Bristol. Is it still runway 27? Yes. We're going to be taking the Bristol 1 Alpha Star into Bristol. So we will program in. I will get a chart up. So ILS 27, Bristol 1 Alpha is set via Bristol 1. Insert. We've got our route. So you can see we are going to be heading down south. We'll zoom in a bit so we can see that arrival easier. We're going to be going from Bristol VOR to 008. TF27. FF7. I do not like that shape here. It does look like we are going to be travelling, but we're going to be following the procedure around. Basically, we're going to be going over the airport and around. Yeah, if that. I don't think we'll follow that path. Obviously not. So we'll set that back. Descending in 4 minutes. Instrument approach chart for runway 27. Okay. 768 is our decision altitude. And we're descending to 2,500 feet where we'll intercept the glide. And this arrow here is our top of descent. So 2,500 feet. We'll press that button in. And the decision altitude, well, we need to enter our destination data. So QNH down in Bristol is 1001, so not the highest again, but higher than Glasgow. Expect Scotland's weather is never too great. This is further up north. The wind, magnetic wind is 191 at 12 knots. Barometric is what we want, 768 feet above mean sea level. 768. We're on flaps full. So, we're fast approaching top of the descent. Currently over just passing into Wales now, so we've got to pass over the whole of Wales and then over Bristol Channel, I think it's called. The River Severn goes into the Bristol Channel, over Bristol Channel. Then we'll fly over the airport, go around. We'll fly over Bristol VOR. Then fly away from the airport and then come back in and set ILS. I will speak to you again once we are a bit closer to the ground. Okay, hello everyone, we are back. We are at 10,000 feet, pretty much. We are over the Bristol Channel as we speak. And yeah, the airport's there, as you can see. Actually, I'm an idiot. That's not the airport. The airport is a bit further away. The airport is there. See a company aircraft EasyJet. And there, as you can see, we're going to be flying over this airport out here and then coming back into land. It's pretty straightforward. There is a weird thing on the approach path which I'm not too happy with, so I'll just vector the aircraft if there's any problems and then set the ILS by directing the aircraft to a waypoint. Okay, so the landing lights are on, the seatbelt sign. Come on, the no portable electronic devices switch. Come on, the landing system. Come on, we've got a bit of weather to our right, but that should not be a problem for us, as we are not flying through it. So I'm just going to reduce the range to 10. And I'm going to activate the approach mode on the MCU. It's all happening now. It's going to be a busy job. Cabin crew announcement. The airport is just below us. So yeah, we don't have much to do until we come closer to intercepting the localizer. So I'm probably going to set flaps 1 when we get to this 0008 waypoint here. And we're just going to do the usual stuff for an ILS approach. We need a bit more drag. I will get that sorted. We're just under 3/4 of the way there. With our approach, our vertical profile is indicated by this green dot here, and we are a bit above that, so okay, it's complaining it's fixed to that. So should have remedied the issue at least for now. Transition level is 6,500 feet, so we can set the barrow. Have the altimeter to the local QNH, which is 1002. So then that puts us nicely underneath the profile. We're fast approaching waypoint. I think we need to just descend a little bit more. I think we're okay actually when we get to the waypoint. I really hope it doesn't bank us in this way here. I hope we follow this path. It looks more likely that we're going to follow that path, and if not, as I said, I will vector the aircraft and then basically go to the direct page and in this CF27 waypoint. Okay, so we're turning now. I'm going to set flap 1. See the wing vortices, PrecipitFX, which is free. Very nice add-on mix. The atmospheric effects a bit more realistic. Very nice. realised I haven't set the flaps to 1. I must have pressed the wrong button on my joystick, my bad. My bad. Right, okay. You can see the glide coming here. We won't set approach mode just yet. When we get the S speed, we'll set flaps 2, which we'll do here. Flaps going further down. Flaps coming out as well. Leading edge of the wing, and we're gonna do approach mode now. DS in because I'm worried we're going to be above the glide slope. Just descend a little quicker. We're descending at a faster rate than the glide slope half is. We should. This is where we'll intercept the course, so we shouldn't catch up with the glide slope.
Well, 2,500.
2,500 checked. We're at 2,500 feet now. See your approach mode. The aircraft is moving quite vigorously. We're intercepting the course now, and the glide's coming down nicely. We'll get the gear down. Provide a little bit more drag. We can descend a bit better. Arm the speed brakes. Bristol's shortest runway will put the auto brake to medium. Nose light can go to takeoff. Runway turn off light. Come back on. Do not appear to have caught up the glide slope, so I'm going to take manual control of the aircraft anyway. I'm going to set flaps free now. And shortly after that, flaps full. We've now intercepted the glide slope. I'm just going to hand 5 aircraft till the bottom, till we reach the ground basically, until we land.
1,000.
Must have pressed the wrong button because the flaps did not go to full when I wanted them to. Must be a joystick, a button input problem. But nonetheless, we are fine. We are on the profile. Just slightly to be
approaching
in line with the localizer.
7.
The tip is to only make small corrections here because you don't want to overcorrect and go too far off course, because chances are that you will overcorrect and then you'll end up, your momentum will take you way past the localizer and the glide slope. So
500.
we're a little low according to the PAPIs and our instruments.
400.
So I'll try and hold this altitude
300.
best I can.
100 above.
100 above minimums.
200.
Glide slope.
We're a little bit below.
Minimum.
Continuing.
Glide slope.
100.
I think
Glide slope.
we are okay here. Land.
50,
Glide slow.
40, 30,
20,
retard,
10,
retard, 5,
to the middle, and touchdown. Bring in the thrust reversers. That was a pretty solid landing.
900
So, not solid
meters
by strength.
remaining.
I was happy with the landing. That was a fun flight.
600
Just a
meters
short, basic
remaining.
flight. Domestic hop. We have arrived at Bristol. Welcome to Bristol, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. For my first full flight video. First time I've done anything like this in terms of recording while flying. But I enjoyed it. I apologize about the glide slope problems. I've had that in the past. It decides not to intercept glide, but we sorted it out before it could become an issue. Nothing wrong with a bit of hand flying anyway. So we will exit the runway. The furthest exit point. So, chrono, the clock can come off 1 hour, 1 minute, so 3 minutes added on to the predicted airtime, but I would add another minute on because I turned on a minute late. Feels like it's a taxi. Landing lights off, runway turn off, light off, strobe lights off. We're not going to go on an active runway again. Transponder standby. Get the flaps up. Track spoilers. Weather radar come off. Predict wind shear off. Landing system off. Brake temperatures are above 150 degrees. We will enable the brake fan. That lovely sound. And we will start up the APU. So we will park at gate 3. See the gate over there. Flag spike while GSX loads in as normal. We'll proceed to park the aircraft. The flap is open, we can start up the APU in advance of shutting down the engines. So we have power to the aircraft while we shut them off. Got an aircraft on approach, another easyJet company aircraft. Could be heading from Glasgow for all we know. I doubt it. Doubt they have done the same flight as us. So yeah, not much more to be said on this flight apart from that we need to park up, shut down, deboard the passengers, and happy days. So again, I hope you enjoyed this first full flight video. I'm not used to speaking to myself, well, to you guys, but it feels like I'm speaking to myself at the moment. I'm sure I'll get more used to it. I want to do this more. I want to revitalize my YouTube channel. I have not uploaded for a year now. Purely been down to, I wouldn't say a lack of time, I'd say a lack of motivations to get videos out there. Not really feeling like recording anything or editing videos, but I want that to change starting now, and this is the new format of video that I want to introduce to the channel, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. So it's going to turn into a stand here, and free. The other easyJets nearby. Bristol is known for its large amount of easyJet services. So I'll get in line with the marshaller. Overshot it a little bit, but that should be okay. The APU is on. Parking brakes on. Off, yeah. Shut down the engines. So yeah, here we are. Come to Bristol. Parked a bit too far in ASCA. Oh well. It wasn't a terrible parking. We can see that N1 is 1.6. We can turn the beacon on. Off, sorry. Those light can come off, or we turn off, sorry, off. Those signs can come off. Those lights can come off. The wheel temperatures are still very much above 150, well, not very much. We'll set the traffic cones. Set GPU. That now means we can turn stop the clock. 1 minute 14 in the block time, roughly. Again, added maybe 2-3 minutes on because I started it late. And yeah, we can open the doors. We can request deboarding. And all the doors, cargo doors included. On page. Doors, front left, aft left, front cargo after. Okay. They're opening. Yeah. Turn on the external power. Turn off the APU. I hope you enjoyed, and I do plan on doing this more often. And I hope this will be a mainstay on the channel, and will hopefully happen semi-regularly. I'm not going to commit to any schedules, as I do not have a set amount of free time every week to do it. But I very much hope I can continue making videos for you guys. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you very soon.